World of Warcraft. It's been out for a long time, since 2004, and I've been playing the game since Vanilla WoW, just before Burning Crusade came out. And one question that I've gotten quite a few times actually is, why do I still play World of Warcraft after all these years? Have I ever taken breaks? What did I do during those breaks? And what has kept me playing the game since the very beginning? So I'm hoping to answer that question today with a little bit of a backstory as to what has kept me playing the game. So let's rewind the clock and let's go all the way back to vanilla World of Warcraft. A while back I made a video talking about what got me into World of Warcraft and why I started playing it, and if you want to go check that video out, it's called My World of Warcraft Story, so I'm not going to repeat all that hullabaloo. But when I first started playing WoW, the thing that really hooked me to the game was the world itself. I had never played an MMO before. The mechanics were completely foreign to me, as I was mostly a console player. I never really was that into PC games. I thought the lore was very interesting, reading the quest text and learning about the Forsaken and the Horde and the Alliance. And during this time, during Burning Crusade, I also played Warcraft 3, which especially got me into the lore, especially the Lich King. I absolutely loved the Lich King. But this was really a time when I was just exploring this new world called Azeroth, and I was playing with my real-life friends like Ben and Granak One-Eye and so on and so forth, who I've mentioned in previous videos. All of these things are what really addicted me to the game in the beginning. Now, around the end of late Burning Crusade and into Wrath of the Lich King, this is when my perception on the game changed. Instead of just being like, oh, I love this game because of the lore and the world and the quests, now I was more obsessed with the raiding and the PvP, and this is when I became more of an elitist hardcore progression kind of player. I was big into achievements when they first came out, big into leading guilds, leading raid teams, arena teams, so on and so forth. This was my elitist period of WoW. This is when I just went hardcore all out into the game. But this is also the time when a lot of my real life friends quit the game. They stopped playing because, if you guys played back then, Wrath of the Lich King was piss easy compared to Burning Crusade and Vanilla WoW. So they called it Wrath of the Casual King. So they quit, they said it was a baby game now, and I continued playing because, hey, I still loved the game and I loved the world. By the end of Wrath of the Lich King, however, I stepped away from my elitist persona because I found it to be I was taking the game way too seriously, and I just didn't find it to be mentally healthy or physically healthy. So I actually took up an interest in role-playing. For those that don't know, throughout Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria, and even late Wrath, I actually was a role player in World of Warcraft. I was really big into the lore, I loved D&D and doing D&D with my friends, so being able to essentially do D&D in World of Warcraft in this fantasy universe that I really enjoyed was a lot of fun. I led a ton of roleplay guilds, massive guilds with hundreds of players. I led massive role-playing events, told tons of stories, and really this was the time when I got to really explore my creativity as a writer and a storyteller, which has actually benefited me a lot to this day. This is also the time when I met a lot of people on WoW and made some of the best friends that I ever had, and I even went and visited them in their foreign countries that they lived in, so it was actually a really awesome time in my World of Warcraft history. Late Mist of Pandaria is also when I started really getting into doing YouTube a little bit more seriously. I had always had an interest in YouTube, and I had made videos, and I thought it was fun making machinima, but for the first time ever, I actually started to take it seriously, and I started to use World of Warcraft as a means to tell stories and to make people laugh. But what was even cooler is when I placed 3rd place in Blizzard's BlizzCon movie contest. So that was awesome. And then next year, after Warlords of Draenor had been out for a while, I placed 3rd place again in BlizzCon's movie contest. So that was really cool. Eventually though, near the end of Mists of Pandaria, I lost interest in role-playing, so we enter into Warlords of Draenor, and I think this is where a lot of you probably subscribed to me, or started to subscribe to me anyway, here on YouTube. Because this is where my love of WoW kind of stepped out of the game, and kind of became more video focused. You see, the cool thing about making WoW Machinima is you can literally do anything you want. World of Warcraft and WoW Model Viewer and so on and so forth give me the tools to essentially tell any story I can think of. If I want to have a giant robot attacking Stormwind, I can do that. If I want to have Nixxiom eating a giant plate of gnomes, I can do that. I can do whatever I want. And so I really started using World of Warcraft as a means of telling stories and entertaining people. Because if there's one thing that I've always loved doing, whether it was through storytelling or leading guilds or telling roleplay stories or whatever, I've always enjoyed entertaining people and making people smile or laugh or just have fun. It just makes me feel good, I guess. So Machinima and making WoW videos kind of allowed me to do that. I also started doing discussion videos and top 10s and Q&As and lots of other things, and I essentially kind of established myself as one of the WoW YouTubers, I guess, if you want to call me that. Ooh. It's kind of weird. The point is, the thing that kept me playing WoW during this time since Warlords all the way up to now was really just the fact that WoW allowed me to express myself creatively. And also I started streaming on Twitch, and talking to the fans on Twitch and getting to know them and even meeting them in real life at events like MCM Comic-Con. This time in my WoW history, if you want to call it that, has really been defined by my love of entertaining people and also my love of the community that watches my videos. It motivates me to play the game and to keep playing it and keep exploring the world and keep making videos. I think it's fun. Honestly, if we go back to the original question, what has kept me playing WoW over all these years, there's really a simple answer to it, and it's the people on the game. Whether it was my real life friends, or the people I roleplayed with, or the people that I raided with, or even the people that watch me on Twitch, it's always been the community that the game has created that has created so much fun for me in the game, and so many memories that I cherish very deeply. This is why I talk a lot about why I think that community building and the social interaction within an MMO is the most important pillar of an MMO. It's the backbone holding it all together. Not raid mechanics, not achievement points, it's the people in the game. It's the people like me, it's the people like you that really breathe life into this world we call Azeroth. But have I ever taken a break from playing World of Warcraft? No, not once. The longest break I would ever take from playing WoW is whenever I would go on vacation somewhere for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, but I've always played it. I don't really play WoW as much as I used to. I certainly don't play it every day, and I tend to only play WoW on stream, and that's it. But when I do play it on stream, I have a lot of fun over on Twitch, and I still have a ton of fun telling my silly little wacky machinima stories using the game and the world itself. So all that is what has kept me playing WoW over all these years. I've been everything from a hardcore raider to a hardcore role player to a hardcore fucking YouTuber, you know. I've done it all, man. I've been there and I've done that. So I have a very colorful WoW history, and what a history it has been. But my friends, this was just a kind of simple story time video. I know a lot of you have been playing World of Warcraft for just as long as I have, or maybe even longer. So my question is, what has kept you playing this game? Because I guarantee it's something a lot more than just new boss mechanics. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than just that. So leave your comments below. I am reading them. I think they're interesting, and I like hearing people's stories. Big shout out, as always, to those of you that support me over on Patreon. A big shout out as well to you guys that watch me over on Twitch. You guys are awesome. You make my weeks every single week. I will see you all very soon on my next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.